Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and this is a video about a bunch of small knives, but that are also really badass. Like they're really good knives that are small. So first off, we're starting off with the Reate T2500. Now they make a larger version of this. I think they have the 1500 and then maybe the 3000 or something. They have a bunch of these, but this one is the smallest version. It's a Tachi Baruka design. You can see his logo right there. M390 steel, titanium frame lock, titanium hardware, carbon fiber inlay. It is shred carbon fiber, but man, it's perfectly well done. It's not an integral, but it does kind of seem like it because it has the sandwich construction. Internal stop pins. Now, my one complaint is that this flipper tab is a little slippery and the detent is pretty strong, but I find that it's so easy to just reverse flick it. And that's usually the primary way I open it. I just reverse flick it. It's super easy. Now, this is only a 3-finger knife, but you have the spot right here where you can actually get a 4-finger grip on it. Awesome little knife. Listen to detent. Very loud detent. It is a very snappy little guy. But yeah, this flipper tab can just be a little slippery. You want to keep your fingers off the lock bar. But yeah, let's get to the next one. That's actually possibly going to one of the Patreon members this month. Next, we got the Civivi Baby Banter. Now, I really like this knife. I think they knocked it out of the park with this. It is a small knife, but it is so capable. It's very slicey, nice and thin. It is a flat grind, but man, it is super slicey. Nitro V steel. G10 that comes in multiple different colors. There's lots of options with this knife. And the thumb studs are titanium, and so is the hardware. The clip is a deep carry inset clip that is reversible, but the thumb stud action is really, really good on this. It's actually satisfying to even slow roll. The access to the thumb studs are just really nice, and you can actually get a 4-finger grip even though the blade is such a small blade. This thing is a really awesome knife. Now they do make a bigger version of it that you know, obviously it's larger because it's a bigger version, but that's also still a small knife. But awesome little knife. Just so you guys know, I'm going to link as much as I possibly can down in the description. So if you want to purchase one of these or one of the knives from this video, check the links down in the description. It helps the channel out. And if I don't link the exact one you want, that's okay. Just use the link to get there and then pick a different one. Let's get to the next one. Now, that knife kind of reminds me of one of my other favorite small knives, the Chaparral. The Spyderco Chaparral. This knife, you know, just in a lot of ways, I don't know why, it just kind of reminds me of it. The grip is kind of the same, you know, where you got this forward finger choil. You got a lot more cutting length on the Chaparral, but this is just an awesome little knife. Super thin blade stock. I think it's only 80 thousandths thick. Super thin behind the edge. CTS XHP steel. It does have a wire clip that is reversible. This is FRN, and this one has aftermarket titanium screws, but it's just an awesome little knife and takes a screaming sharp edge. Easy to carry. This is like the easiest knife I own to carry. Nice slow rolling action. You can thumb flick it, but some people have difficulties doing that. So what I do is I just aim my pressure straight up and like kind of behind, and then it works really good. Same thing with the reverse flick. I don't flick out, I flick straight up like that, but like that. So yeah, awesome little knife. These things are so useful. It cuts way above its pay grade. Now, next we have the Kizer Shard. I've shown this a lot on the channel. It is a little tiny, tiny compact, very snappy knife. And it has these little ridges right here, so you can grip onto it really good. It is a Dirk Pinkerton design. And the Kizer Shard here is an N690 steel and gray micarta. Now, they do have a titanium version. They have lots of options with this one. So you can get this one in lots of different options, but just super fidgety, even though it's such a tiny knife. The access to the lock bar is really good. It's very smooth for such a little tiny knife. Lots of jimping on the spine. It is only a 3-finger knife, but because of the jimping on the spine, you really lock in. Deep carry clip that works great. Not reversible though. And yeah, I really like this micarta too. Let's get to the next one. Now the next one, this one's a little bit more expensive, a little bit harder to find, but the Medford Heiress. This thing sounds so cool. Listen to this. I had to mess that up. Very cool sound. Flame anode titanium. Now this is in CPM D2, so it's a powdered version of D2, which is very different from regular D2. But you know, I think you can get these in a lot of different steels. They do still make them. I thought they discontinued them and stopped making them, but you can still get them. They do still make them, but it is just a little tiny chunk of a knife. Thick, very smooth though. I mean, the access to the lock bar is okay. It's easy to get to. Very smooth on phosphor bronze washers. Internal stop pins. It is a hollow ground blade. That's a little thick. It's a stubby little guy, but it does get down to a decently not thin edge, but a reasonably thin edge, and it's a very useful little knife. Now, it is only a 3-finger knife. However, I like to use these 3 fingers and then use the other 2 for the pinch like this, and it works really good. Awesome little knife. Titanium hardware, flame titanium scales. Now, like I was saying, though, you can get this in different steels, different finishes, lots of different versions of this knife. Let's get to the next one. Now, this one's a little bit larger for the group of knives we're talking about, but I had to put it in because I really, really like it. This is the Kizer El Orme. El Orme. 20 CV steel. It is stupid smooth. I mean, this thing's smooth on another level of smooth. The access to the lock bar is very generous. And, I mean, it's just complete fall shut action. It is so smooth. It's like I said, it's on another level of smooth. Very simple handle construction, and it does have a titanium clip. Now, you can get this in different options, but one thing I really like about it is this flipper tab. The jimping is done very well, so it's very grippy, and you can use it like a regular flipper, or you can use it like a top flipper. And the detent on it is very early, so you're always past the detent when you unlock it. It's just incredibly smooth, though. It's so smooth. But awesome knife, and it's in 20 CV, and this blade shape is extremely useful. You can get a full 4-finger grip, unlike all the rest of the knives. Well, no, I guess the Chaparral and the Baby Banter you can get a full grip on, but without a choil, you can get a full grip on this, and it is a very useful little blade shape. Let's get to the next one. All right, next we have the bestech Goblin and the bestech Engine. Now, I'm going to pull up one more just to make this go by a little faster. And this is another Goblin, the kansept Goblin. Now, these are all very similar, like in grip and size. All incredible knives. There's a large version of this one coming. I'm actually going to get it on the channel. At least I hope I am. Stasa 23 has it right now. It's an XL version, a really big version. But kansept did a great job with this. This thing is very fidgety, very easy to deploy. The ergos are really good on this little blade. The blade is really useful, this little sheep's foot blade. It's also a front flipper that's very easy to use. Good looking knife too. We have S35 VN blade steel, titanium frame lock, Titanium clip and backspacer. Awesome, awesome knife. And then the Goblin, the other Goblin, because this is the concept Goblin, the bestech Goblin. Awesome little Wharncliffe. I mean, this is another use for this type of size knife. A little Wharncliffe is great, and you can really get into those little fine details. Now, this one is a primary flipper that is incredible. The action is insane, but you can also very easily reverse flick this because you have so much blade coming out and just the weight of the blade. I mean, it's very, very easy to do. The access to the lock bar is really generous, and it is incredibly smooth on its ceramic bearings. Now, it is only like a 2.5 finger knife back here, but they give you a generous choil, which gives you a full grip. Nice spot to lay your thumb on. Then when we move towards, oh yeah, S35VN, titanium, all the bells and whistles, really solid knife. Then we get up to this one, same thing, except for on this one, because they have multiple different versions of actually both of these, both of the bestechs. So this one's been anodized, but you can get it in full titanium. This one has the carbon fiber inlay on this side. Now this one has the carbon fiber on this side and then an anodized titanium frame lock side. Now you can buy these like this, or you can get them plain. There's multiple different options, and there's a couple different blade shapes as well. This one's the clip point, but they also have a drop point version. Very smooth. This one has the flipper, well-tuned detent, and you can reverse flick it. And the reverse flick is really nice on this. That hole is pretty easy to get to, and you get a great grip. Now it is a small compact blade, but same thing, you can get up really nice and fine to, you know, little details and things like that, or you can do that one pinch grip where you can you know, do utility cuts or even push cuts if you really need to. You know, it's a small blade, but you could definitely do it. Awesome, awesome knife. I have this one in for sharpening, the bestech engine. Really cool knife. The lock bar access could be a little bit better, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And it's very smooth on the drop. This is the mini Sheepdog with the non-flipper version. Now, I'll link these below. I'm going to try to link as much as I can below, but you can get these. And this, to me, is the best version of the mini Sheepdog. You get a full 4-finger grip, unlike the flipper version, which you can only get a 3-finger grip. You can get a full 4-finger grip, super slicey blade. Access to the lock bar is way better than the regular mini Sheepdog because it has a real tight access to the lock bar, but the non-flipper version took care of that. The action is incredible. The hole is well placed, very easy to use. Just an incredible, incredible knife. Now this one is in 154 cm, and they do have a large version of this, but I don't think any are available while, you know, during the making of this video. You can look around if you're watching this on a later date, but awesome, awesome knife. This is an incredible little knife. It's so useful, so slicey. The ergos are great for such a compact knife, and yeah, definitely a great buy. Oh, this is Micarta, by the way. Black Micarta, and I think they only come in the black Micarta for the mini, but I'm not 100% about that. I'm pretty sure, though, you can only get it in this version as of right now. The TUCSON TS158. I think it's the 158. M390 steel, titanium, carbon fiber, beautiful carbon fiber, frame lock. It is on ceramic ball bearings, and it is a flipper. The flipping action is really good on this, but I also like that I can actually use that fuller. Now, I don't think everybody will be able to use the fuller. You have to use like the side of your finger, but it's not bad. It's not too difficult to do. But it is a compact, small knife. It is only a 3-finger knife. So what I like to do is I put the 3 fingers there, just like the other one, and I grip it like this. And this thing is a little razor. It is super thin behind the edge. I believe mine was 10 thousandths behind the edge. It's been sharpened a few times, but it's still super, super thin. Nice micro milling. It does have internal stop pins. So the lockup is very, very solid, very strong. And I love this blade shape. One of my favorite blade shapes. It's like a kind of like a sheep's foot. It's like in between a sheep's foot and a clip point. Awesome, awesome knife. Next, one of my favorite little knives. All these knives. I mean, I really like all these knives, but this one, the Kizer Lieb, man. I wish I would have got the other micarta though. I do not like this micarta, but this is one of the best small flippers or small knives with a flipper. Very smooth, but this detent is so well tuned. It's incredible. It almost feels like it's assisted. That's how smooth it is. But it is a small compact knife, only 3 fingers. Nice sheep's foot blade shape. I love, love, love this blade shape. It is an N690, and it does have a non-deep carry clip that is not reversible. The access to the lock bar is very easy to get to. It is very, very smooth. Man, that action. I usually, instead of just dropping it because it's a small knife, even though you can do that and you can swing it shut very easily, I tend to just unlock it and push it down with my thumb. But man, even the acoustics from this thing are really nice. And this thing cuts really good. Like I said, this blade shape is very, very useful. Kara beats the heck out of this thing. Next, now this one's the smallest one on the list. The McBee. So this is the Spyderco McBee CTS XHP steel. Same thing like the Chaparral CTS XHP steel. Titanium. This is a McNeeves design, and it is a micro knife. It is very small, but it is, you can still thumb flick it. The reverse flick, not so much. You might be able to get it. I've gotten it a few times, but it's just a little compact, little tiny razor. And it does work. I mean, for such a little knife, it's only a 2-finger knife, if that, mostly probably like a 1-finger knife, but it is an awesome little knife. It is kind of just something fun, but still very useful. And it is a titanium frame lock. Awesome little knife. Next, the Prolic, the Ferrum Forge Prolic. Now, this knife is a Ferrum Forge knife made by We Knife. It is small, compact. We do have a deep carry clip. Sorry for the noise in the background. Nitro V steel. Very smooth, multiple forms of deployment. You can reverse flick it, and it also has the flipper tab. Nice 4-finger grip. Nice jimping. This blade shape is super useful, very easy to deploy, very easy to get into action and use. The blade shape is just fantastic. And if you are left-handed, you can also equally use it because it is a liner lock. Man, yeah, this one's a good one. I really like this one a lot. I like them all, but this one's really awesome. The Ferrum Forge Prolic. Now, another Ferrum Forge design. This is the Ferrum Forge Mini Arch Bishop, another knife made by We. This one is the carbon fiber version, but there is G10 versions. There's multiple different versions. Nitro V steel. Oh no, I'm sorry. This one's 9CR. They might also make them in Nitro V, but this one's one of the first ones. This one dropped as soon as they came out with this. I got this, and this one's in 9CR. They might all be in 9CR. I'm not positive about that, but same thing. Flipper and reverse flicking action. It is a small knife, but super fidgety, and the action is really good. The detent is very, very well tuned. The ergos are nice and very similar to the Prolic. You have the 4-finger grip with the jimping on the spine. Same thing, really, really nice in the hand. Deep carry pocket clip. This pocket clip works so good. It's inset, and it's just like the best kind of pocket clip. Awesome, awesome pocket clip. The action is so easy to deploy. Detent is just so well tuned, and it cuts really good. It is a flat ground blade, drop point blade that's super useful, great for utility cuts. And with these small compact knives like this, you see how it's got this little spot right there. You can really lock this in your hand for utility cuts, for opening things up. It just works really good, in pinch grips. And even if you really needed to do a push cut, you could, but for regular slicing and regular detail work, this is going to work out really, really good. Awesome, awesome knife. Now, last but not least, this one I've kind of messed up a little bit, but it's okay. We got the Kershaw Launch 4. This is an automatic knife, and out the side, automatic knife. Now, I sharpened this thing because when I got it, it is a small, compact little knife, and this thing is California legal, as far as I know. Aluminum handle, CPM 154 steel, but I wanted to just for it to be a little razor at work because I was opening lots of boxes and stuff like that. So I basically sharpened it into just like, it was already kind of a spear point, but I made it into like a little razor so that I could just pop it out, open up a box, open up the sides really easily. And this was kind of just a sharp point for me. The geometry wasn't the best for such a small knife, so you know, but I will say this, man, rock solid. I mean, this is a very, very solid automatic knife. It is USA made and just a great, great little knife for a little micro auto knife. They make lots of Launch series knives, so you know, they not this exact one, but they have a bunch of autos like this made in the USA with CPM 154 steel of all different sizes. So if this one doesn't catch your eye as much, there's so many different versions, but awesome, awesome knife. Not a deep carry clip, but the clip does work great. And this aluminum scale comes in, you can get them in multiple different colors. This one just happens to be the orange one, but very, very cool. There you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.